Coming in. We've had a few moments of remembering today in the States, being September 11th, 20 years ago today. I was playing soldier and I was actually doing counterterrorism at the time when that happened. So it hits a little bit home. It's affected a lot of people, and I thank you all for coming in and taking the time out today. I want to acknowledge Mark Hart, who is our technical genius and guru for putting everything up. He's got a lot of things up and collated on the website. He also scours various other presentations, puts them up in the documentation, and it's a great resource. So if you're looking for material, background, videos, or just want to catch up on some of the other sessions or review them, just visit the OC College website, which Mark looks after. That's the Orange County College website that Mark looks after, and all of the videos are there. Today I want to very special welcome to Bob Elling and Reinhold Roedig. Bob is the owner, producer, chief guru, bottle washer, and presser, as well as the typist and cook for Riverboat Records and several other companies that he has bought. Caller extraordinaire, and has had a lot of experience dealing with callers, dancers, teaching, instruction, and students at all levels. And Reinhold Roedig, who is also a caller extraordinaire, Caller Lab member for quite a long time, and the owner, creator, and designer of Callerama Square Dance Simulator for Windows. Excellent program, very, very versatile, very flexible. He still doesn't like typing out in longhand, which I can type faster in longhand than I can do in abbreviations, but I'll get him convinced one day. But the designer of Callerama, who, when there are things that go out, there are a lot of software programs out there that are quite good, but they're inflexible as far as doing things like making right-hand stars or six-couple calling, various other things. Reinhold has taken that on board and has developed Callerama to adapt very quickly to all these things. And he's gone out and he's played with six couples, where some have done hexes. He's done rectangles that can be shown in Callerama, and that's part of what we're going to be looking at today is rectangles, which is an easier way of using squares when you have odd numbers, six couples, where you can do a lot of stuff that is innovative, interesting, not difficult, and that's as much as I'm going to give as a teaser, and I will turn it over to Reinhold and Bob. Welcome.
Thank you, everybody. I will start. I'm really pleased and honored to be on the podium with my friend Bob Elling. We have met way back 2011 in Las Vegas when I had just developed a rectangle on Callerama, and Bob happened to give a presentation on rectangle choreography. So, of course, being Bob, the first thing he did was throw me off because he came up. I was sitting there in this lobby of the hotel, pedaling my Callerama, and he comes and says, "Oh, I see you have rectangles. Can you do this?" And of course, I couldn't do it because Bob is too creative for any software. However, I managed to do some of his stuff even before his presentation, just programming some calls in, and I could sufficiently interest him that he became a great supporter of my software and helped me develop it further. So today, the two of us, we are very different people. He is a very creative person and a highly experienced caller. I'm a logically thinking person and not a good caller, but we sort of complement each other and present rectangles not for the experienced caller, but for those who try it the first time, because it's a great little tool to provide diversion to the dancers, or as Mel already pointed out, rope in dancers who would otherwise sit out because they're not enough to fill two squares or four squares or whatever. I personally also always liked teaching calls in lines of four, like here, and those lines can be as long as you want them. Many calls can be taught in this formation, and then in the class, almost nobody needs to sit out. And once you are familiar with rectangles, you can do this in a line that becomes almost similar to a contra line and engage students in the class, but that's especially maybe. So we will look for the beginning, for the not so experienced caller, how can he work the rectangle? Because now all of a sudden we have 12 dancers, not 6. The good thing is it works much like a square, only the head couples are doubled up. We have 8 dancers in the head position, 4 in the side position. And here is something to remember from the beginning, because this is not symmetric. Callers tend to engage the heads much more than the sides, and that's not good. They should be at the beginning of a tip or pattern call, they should be brought in as soon as possible, so they're not standing outside too long. So choreography calls work much the same as in the square. We come to the differences later, and that means that modules that are devised for squares can be used in the rectangle. Of course, there are modules especially for a rectangle, but the occasional caller will not have them in memory because the rectangle will not be used much. Dancers want it once in a while as a diversion, and then that's it. There will be no rectangle square dance club in the country because 8 dancer square dance is much more interesting in the long run or as a whole for the dancers. So we recommend working with modules that the beginning caller already has in her repertoire. And here are some examples. Bob will walk us through these examples, and I have preloaded them here, so I just have to click and play them for you. So Bob, it's your turn here.
Okay, the head square through.
So now we get into position corner box for modules.
Now we'll use a standard, for me is a standard module. Swing through, spin the top, oh, he has it wrong here. I would just slide through from here. He thinks that's too short, but that's a module. Slide through. There should not be a right and left through in that line.
Oh yeah, right. That's a mistake here. Just take it out.
Okay. And then so you're back to that zero state facing the corner. Then you stick in another module, single circle to a wave, boys trade, boys run, Ferris wheel, centers pass through. Now that single circle to a wave, make a comment, boys trade is a swing through. You could have done swing through, but almost everybody has a few of these simple modules. Then you Alaman left and bingo, you're home.
We don't do this now because here is another recommendation, and I have used it very much when I was a club caller in Germany, because everybody has a bunch of singing call figures in memory, because you need to practice singing calls over and over. So you memorize the figure when it's a good figure. And the nice thing is you can use any singing call figure that starts here, for instance, after head square through, do, side, do. Then the figure starts here and it will end here with swing your corner. So the singing call figure is actually a module. And so this is, in this example here, this is taken from a singing call. So we have
Head square through 4 and swing through.
I'm now
Oh.
here. Special 3 and trade by.
Oh.
Bob always wants to call his figures, but I have recorded this one. So now in the singing call, it's swing through, boys run, couple circulate, chain down the line, right and left through. And with slide through, we are back where the singing call gets swing your corner, and we are back in our corner box and can call an element left. And this element left is conveniently at home in this case. Any element left from this corner box will be at home, and we can just say you are home. This is a very easy adaptation of a few modules that the caller has in his memory, and we can make it more interesting by employing them in the chicken plucker routine. So the next example, we will have the chicken plucker routine, meaning we do a module here, we do a module here, we do one here. We can get out here right away or do a get out module, and that's it. Bob will walk us through this.
Okay.
X square through, of course. Now it starts here. The caller watches this boy and brings him back to the same position with a 0 module.
Okay, the whole purpose of this is you have memorized modules. Now we're going to use those memorized modules to involve all 12 dancers having worked together.
I'm doing the first one here. Now the boys, I'm losing track, back at home, and Bob will call a few of his own modules, employing this method here.
Sure. Very common, touch a quarter.
Okay, now I must type.
Scoot back. Boys run.
You can give the next call while they are moving.
Right and left through. And slide through. Now they're back to that group. So
yeah. So now we do the first chicken plucker step. We need 3 steps.
Pass through, trade by. Okay.
And here we use another module.
Touch a quarter. Walk and dodge. Partner trade. Reverse flutter wheel. Bingo, slide through, and there's your 0 module. Now you chicken pluck. Pass through and trade by. Now you're doing something with a brand new group. Okay, do a left touch a quarter. Walk and dodge. Wheel around.
Bob, can I just interrupt for a second?
Sure. I'm not going
so-
for smooth. This is
So just to clarify what's happening here, because I get a couple of questions on that. Set up a corner box, and you're doing essentially a 2 couple 0 type module or a square 0 type module that doesn't change any of the formation in the first box.
yes.
You're doing part of a chicken plucker. Now we're doing another 2 couple module in the center box, but it's all 3 boxes are doing it. And then we finish the chicken plucker, which you have to go that extra step and we'll do it in the final box, which will get everybody home, and the square will be flip-flopped, or the rectangle will be flip-flopped.
Exactly.
So that's what's happening. We're just moving the modules through the square, the 0 modules through the square, using that chicken plucker technique. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yes. Now I hope, Bob, your module is not finished. We want to end up here.
I think you need to do a flutter wheel.
Okay.
Star through. Pluck the chicken.
The chicken? Yeah, okay.
And your square is rotated 180 to the other side.
Now give us a neat get out.
The best get out is Alaman left.
Ah, okay.
Simple. Right and left grand. At the end,
6 hands.
ends at home.
It's 6 hands and we are home.
Yeah. And it's a 6 hand right and left grand.
So,
Yeah. So I just want to add one thing on there. When we talk about the chicken plucker, you'll notice on here, this chicken plucker routine is keeping the dancers in sequence. It's the pass-through trade by. It's keeping the dancers in sequence as opposed to the normal right and left through pass-through trade by, which takes them out of sequence. So just remember that. That's just a small variation.
yeah,
Can I show you something real cool at this point, please?
yeah.
Okay. Head square through 4.
Don't embarrass me with something I cannot do.
Okay. Slide through. Past the ocean. Okay, girls trade. Now the get out is recycle element left. But watch this. Everybody circulate.
Wait.
I think you call it all 8, but it's 12. Okay. The get out before was recycle element left. Let's try that. Recycle. Damn, everybody's facing a corner. Element left.
Ah, yeah.
You know, then it's then you would do a right and left grand followed by a shorter promenade. But the point is, if you get anybody out of sequence, as long as you know the resolve, either the boy or the girl is out of sequence, the resolve is the same as it was before you circulated.
Yeah.
I do that and say, God, he's amazing. And I say, damn, it's so simple.
So,
but it impresses the dancers.
yeah. So we wanted to point out in the rectangle, the promenade full around is very long and tedious and should actually be avoided.
Yeah.
The best spots to resolve are at home with element left, your home, or opposite with right and left grand 6 and promenade only halfway. Of course, everything else is possible, but that's a recommendation.
Yeah.
And the thing with this method is dancers probably don't realize what the caller has been doing. If you are a beginning caller and you manage to keep track of these pass-through trade-by interjections and employ only 3 modules, you have moved them in an interesting way where they believe that you are a good caller because you brought them home in a very good way and so on. And there was a variety of calls here. And most importantly, everybody danced with everybody because we moved all the dancers across. So I believe that's a valuable tool for the beginning caller. Now we will show a few get up and get out square modules. still, I call them square modules. There are still modules that you know because you call them in a square. So this is example 1.3, and the caller is Bob.
Okay. He's setting up a partner line here. Heads, lead right, veer left.
Oh, wait, I lost my module. I shouldn't type here because I already have it recorded. So I just do this. Now wheel and deal. Reverse flutter. Star through. A typical get up. So it works in squares. Works also in rectangle. Now, Bob, you can call something else if you want.
Oh, you have these.
Yeah.
Touch a quarter. Now, this coordinate is modified by having all the girls trade and just the boys move up.
You can
And
look at it.
if you have plus dancers, I used it last night. I did not even explain that to them. I just said girls hold down, boys move up, and they did it. Then you do a couple circulate, or is it girls circulate?
Be a girl
Okay,
circulate.
and yeah, he has all bend the line. I would have called a cast off 3/4 after a girl circulate, but it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And you
Better
and you
flow,
went
yeah.
from zero line to zero line. Then you do a pass the ocean. These are yours. AC Ducey, recycle, pass through and trade by, converts it to a zero box.
Okay. And now we are not at the home spot for an element left. What do you do there?
What would I do there?
Yeah.
Jesus. Swing through. What did I do before? Okay. Everybody circulate. Spin the top. Slide through.
Oh, yeah. Very good. And now we are home element left. It's where you said. That's good. So the circulate moves them back from here, where we didn't want them, to here.
Yeah. And as Brian noted in the chat, when you after a swing through, when you have that sequence, an all 12 circulate as opposed to an all 8 circulate is a technical zero that will move the dancers around. And as Reinhold said earlier, if you did an Allemande left from there, you wouldn't want to do a promenade. You'd want to do something like a right and left grand. That'll bring him 3/4 of the way around, so you only have a 1/4 promenade. So those are the little things that you can use to shorten those routines, so it's not long promenades.
And now we said you can use square modules, but you cannot use any square module. You need to be aware of what modules do not work in rectangle, meaning either do not have the same choreographic effect, or what is even harder to deal with for a beginning caller, and in a sequence that is not one of the 4 sequences that you are familiar with, meaning everybody in sequence, everybody out of sequence, boys in sequence, girls in, and vice versa, boys out of sequence, girls in, and the other one, girls out, boys in. Those are the 4 combinations that occur in the square with 8 people. Here, we actually can have 64 possible combinations of sequence. 64. And when those happen, it becomes very difficult for me, for instance, to continue with modules successfully, because I must sort of resolve the square first to come to a get out. So I put this here in this chapter. You will find it in the paper. It's too long to go through it now. But basically, bad things happen when you have a line of 4 and you do something just for a group of dancers, like center 4, right and left through. Now, where am I? Center 4.
Center 8.
No, I want these here to do it.
Oh, sorry, yes. Yeah, very centers.
The very center. So now look at the sequence. It's starting with ball 1. It's 1, 6, 1, 5, 6, 4, 2, 3. That's not a sequence you would see in a square. It's mixed up. Same for the girls, of course. And while you are calling, it's very hard to recognize this. So these types of calls usually need to be repeated in the same way or in an equivalent way, so you get back into a normal sequence. In this case, if I do right and left through for the other 8, then of course this will fix it. And now we have a sequence of 1, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Boys out of sequence and girls out of sequence. And this you can deal with your repertoire of modules, of square modules. So I put some cases where this happens in here, so you understand what to avoid. Another caveat or thing to remember is that some calls work differently in a rectangle. There are certain calls that will per se, as a call, put the dancers, like this one, right and left through, in one of the less desired sequences. Although certain calls like bend the line from lines facing out have not a good effect on sequence. If we want to demonstrate this, let's set up partner lines with sides lead right, circle 6, it's circle up 6 to a line, then pass through. And if we bend the line here, our sequence is again mixed up. It's not one that you can easily resolve with a square module. If you call this twice, pass through, bend the line again, then you're back to normal. But the effect you wanted to achieve with one pass through bend the line cannot be achieved. Like we can convert a box in squares to a line, partner line, by calling star through, pass through, bend the line, star through again. This doesn't work in the rectangle because it destroys the sequence, makes it unusual. So this must be kept in mind. Also, when you split the outsides, the same thing occurs. But Bob has a very interesting routine here, set up from rectangles to a corner box that does split 4, but brings them to the correct spot for a corner box in sequence. So the point is you can use split, but you should use it in a sequence where you assure that you have a normal sequence of calls, where you assure that you have a normal sequence of boys and girls after it. So we want to look at this example. That's yours, Bob. You invented it.
Okay. Oh, yeah, sides square through 4. Now let me make some comments here. This is a great place. He doesn't need to do this now, But you can make a 6-hand right hand star, then the side star left and the middle back to the same spot. Those type of calls are fun for the dancers. 6 people in one star? Wow. But back to on track, split the outsides.
Oh, I cannot show it. I have to show it here.
Oh, you did a modified thing to make it work. Come on.
I had to do it because I didn't have time to program his call. I did it with the manual method, so they are splitting here.
Okay. And then after you split 2, separate, go around 2, make 6.
So now they went around 2,
Yes.
up back in a normal line.
Yeah, and they end up in that normal line that's in your picture on Squarerama. Oh, then
Yeah.
you got to make your thing show it. There you go. So that was split 2. Go forward and back, touch a quarter, boys run, and you're in the 0 box. The nice thing about that, a lot of callers just start with the heads all the time. It's nice to be able to start with the sides.
Other calls that should be mentioned here, if you call all 8 circulate, or rather all 12, let's say all circulate in a square twice, it will invert it. In the rectangle, you need it 3 times to have the same effect. Same thing, ping pong circulate. Needs to be called 3 times so to have the same effect as in a square, as called twice in a square. The right and left grand is 6 hands, we already mentioned it. Swing through and grand swing through are not critical in waves of 4, they work just as in a square, but in parallel waves of 6, they again are critical because they lead to unusual arrangements. Like here we start with boys on the outside, girls inside. If we call even grand swing through here, the result is that the 4 sums, the 4 dancers here are in a different arrangement than the 4 dancers here, and in another arrangement here. So we have an endless amount of arrangements in rectangles. And to avoid this, if you want to continue with your square knowledge calling, you have to do it 3 times before it gets right again. So after 3 times, we have the girls on the outside, the boys inside, and the sequence is okay. So,
Okay, can I say something?
of course,
Okay, back up to swing throughs.
to the first one,
Yeah, just do the first one.
the grand swing through or the swing
Yeah, the
through?
grand swing through. Because I get myself in this situation a lot. I like to say hinge, split circulate twice, and I put all the boys twice. One more, yeah. All the boys are on the end of a regular ocean wave.
Yes, and all sequences are normal.
Are they? I
Yeah,
didn't
that's good.
do the sequence stuff. I just
Yeah,
wanted-
that's a lifesaver.
okay.
And it's also a good little module. Swing through, hinge, split circulate twice, and we are back to order
Oh, okay.
in the sense of square choreography and sequence. Now we have some calls that need to adapt it from 8 dancers to 12 dancers, and Bob wanted to explain those, like spin chain through and so on.
Okay, there's 2 spin chain throughs, by the way. The one that's done from 3 waves is pretty much normal. I don't think it needed explanation.
Okay, we will do it.
Yeah, I called it cold last night to people who've never done it, and they just did it.
Okay.
But do another one, please.
Yeah. You call, you are the caller. I'm just
Okay.
typing.
I want to put the boys on the end, or you can call swing through. I don't care. We're not trying to do sequence, guys, and I want to make comments on that. Then there was spin chain the gears, and people really get off on this, and it works. Okay, call spin chain the gears and watch the flow. Turn it 3/4.
Center boys trade, girls
Center
trade.
girls trade, boys turn back, turn the star 3/4. Is that right? Oh, you did it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm thinking. Then, you can't do spin chain exchange the gears, by the way.
No, because in the middle we wouldn't know where to go.
Exactly. You have two options. My glasses are foggy now. What else would I need? Oh, there's relay.
Related UC.
Okay, just turn half by the right. Can you do that? Everybody trade.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to do the rest here, but notice there's three girls on the outside. Each girl will play follow the leader and walk off like a baton race, and each girl will meet the boy she's with now. And the first girl does a grand swing through. What makes it different from a regular relay to do is you add an extra grand swing through. And then the last girl moves up and you do the ending half by the right. The girl meets the original girl she started with, turns 3/4. Boys move up to the original girl. I am very much, when I teach Relay the Deucey, I said this call is all about one person. You will never make a brand new wave with anybody else. You always move up to the person you started with, and you always end it when the centers meet for the first time after they started, and they finish with a 3/4 turn. Knowing that gives dancers a lot of confidence in how they do it. Now, I've used this in exploding squares and did a progressive relay to Ducey where I had four squares lined up. I don't know how many waves that is. And I did a progressive relay to Ducey, and every girl moved up to the end of that line. Of course, I don't know if it took 5 minutes to get there, but it
So
was
now we do it here.
it was a heck of a long time. But when everybody finished and had their partner who was back to the same square, they were going, "Oh my God."
Okay. We covered coordinate.
Oh,
And
the coordinate we already did.
we should look at
Okay.
track 2, which becomes track 3 in a
Yeah, track
rectangle.
2 becomes track 3. That's right.
Okay, get me to track 3. Oh, you said extend.
That's a triple pass through.
And very but this line here, that's something technical with how the software works. So, but I won't explain it right now. But it actually working the rectangle in Colorama has a learning curve because there are so many more active dancer designations. So it's not really easy. You have to find out how to do it. Right now, I do it this way. This is center for pass through. So now we are ready for the track 3. and that's it.
By the way, can you back up the track 3?
I cannot hear you. Can you go closer to the microphone?
Can you back up that last track 3?
Oh yeah, of course.
I want to show something people I do. I do a track 2.
Okay.
And you'll end up with 2 waves in the middle and 1 couple on the outside.
Yeah.
And then I'll do a ping pong circulate.
That's great. I cannot oblige you here readily because
Okay,
I
I
don't
know
feel
that. That's fine. I just wanted to mention it if the callers can follow that.
Yeah.
Okay, so essentially what you're saying, Bob, is if you do a leader's partner trade,
Yes.
Reinhold, can
Okay.
you do that? Leader's
Yeah.
trade,
Yeah, we can do this.
pass through.
Okay.
Outsides trade.
Yeah. Yeah, we can construct it sort of. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
see.
outsides trade.
Well, just outside four.
Yeah, and center step to a wave.
Yeah.
So instead of doing a track 3 or a track 6, as some people call it,
Oh, we did it. We did it. I had to construct a little mini module.
that's your track 2. Please, it doesn't matter that they're half sashayed or whatnot in here, but
Yeah.
it does the same, and then the ping pong circulate will finish that track. And Brian Hotchkiss has made a couple of comments about ping pong circulate in the chat as well, which would do the same thing with your get outs like swing through, turn through, and so on.
Okay, so can we look at the next group of calls that are really different in rectangles? I have an example here and I will run through it quickly.
Oh.
Just setting up something here. So now we have lines of 6 facing out, and there are 2 different wheel and deals. One would move the dancers in triples and works just like the wheel and deal in squares. And the other one termed, there is no caller-led convention about how to name these calls in rectangles. So some may have a different term. We have termed it the triple wheel and deal, which may be misleading. The triple wheel and deal means we do it as couples, not as triples. That's why the name is misleading. But there are 3 actions here, because now the center couple partner trades and moves in, and the other 2 do what they would do in a square, giving right of way to the right hand couple and then folding behind the first couple. So this would be a standard for doing wheel and deal as couples in the rectangle, but you are free to do it your own way.
Okay, I would mention I don't do it that way myself. I just say centers wheel around, the others wheel and deal behind them.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
That doesn't take any teaching. Or you pointed out it's probably smoother to say centers partner trade, others wheel and deal behind them.
Yeah, because it's
Both of them.
symmetric. The wheel and deal is asymmetric. It's not symmetric. The partner trade is symmetric.
Yeah.
Probably works better. So now we come to put centers in. It worked like this. They're pretty obvious. Everybody slides out and the centers come in. Cast off 3/4, which breaks the sequence, the normal sequence, 1, 2, 6, not 1, 2, 3. After this, we have the same thing once more. Put centers in to repair it. Because now we have, no, it's not yet repaired, sorry. But I didn't care here. Couples went again. And here we can promenade home. So we demonstrated wheel and deal as a triple wheel and deal, put centers in, cast off 3/4 as a three, sum as 3 people, put centers out, couples go left and right. Those sort of need special attention or special skill, like Bob, who can do it not as I do it in a technical way, he does it intuitively, which is of course much better. Now we come to openers.
One second, Reinhold.
Yeah.
1 second. On your wheel and deal, as you said, there's 2 wheel and deals. There's each group working as a couple, or there's the lines of 3 wheel and deal. The double pass through, first go left, next go right, works as lines of 3. If you do your wheel and deal as center couples trade, the others wheel and deal behind them. You can also use this. You can also use the simple get out, which is triple pass through, lead couple step ahead, and trade. The second couple go left, next couple go right. Lines of 6 go forward and back. That will also fix it, as opposed to remembering how many times you have to go through with the star through, centers in, all the rest of that.
I like that, Mel. I'm going to use it.
Okay, so shall we move on with openers? The recommendation is for the novice caller in rectangles, do them from memory, because in my experience I often messed it up because I wasn't adapted to 12 dancers and didn't pay attention. So it's better to have them in memory. And we have 2 examples here, and the next one will be really exciting. Example 3.1 shows the grand square. There are several options how you can do grand square, and this is just one of them. Here it's done by the heads as couples. So the call would be sides, face, heads as couples, grand square.
Now, when I use this version, I tell the heads, you take 2 steps and bend the line. Bend the line is 2 steps. So it's still 4 steps. And I go 1, 2, bend the line, back 2, bend the line, back up 2, bend the line, go forward 2, 3, 4, back up 2, bend the line. But that's how I use that version. Can you do the straight ordinary version in Colorado?
No, okay. I don't have it at my fingertips.
Okay. Actually, they can do an exact duplication of a normal grand square, where the heads walk in 2, 3 and turn to the middle. Now they're in tandem, and staying in tandem, they back up 2, 3, turn, back up 2, 3, tandem, forward 2, 3, 4, back up 2, 3, turn in. And that's the version I used last night.
Mm-hmm.
So simply put, they can either do it heads working as a couple or everybody working individually. They both work.
Well, the difference is probably in what comes next, because when they're facing as a tandem, the get out is a bit different, because this boy really has his back to his corner, so there needs to be some instruction to this boy here, so he can naturally find the corner for an element left.
Not necessary.
But
even a normal grand square, after you complete the grand square, everybody faces in.
Yeah.
Face in, yeah. Mhm. Okay,
And
now we come to
Howard Coburn just posted in the chat. Here in Australia, the movement Grand Slide is very popular. That works very well with tandems.
Oh gosh, that would be so cool.
Grand Slide. I made a note. Maybe
That's
sometime.
just, forward 3, slide, slide, as
Exactly.
opposed to turn, step, step.
Mhm. So shall we look at the teacup chain? Bob, I modified your idea a little. I hope you are not mad at me.
I don't care. I have like 6 variations of a
Yeah.
chain.
So Bob said, start with sides, promenade halfway. Then he wants these couples to sashay in a position where he has 2 boys and 2 ladies. So I would say here I say 2 heads in the middle sashay, and then I let them pass through, and as couples trade, and as they are finishing it, the 2 in the middle can sashay again, and after this we have, it was too fast, but now I must wait until it finishes. We have them ready for teacup chain, where the girls are always in the middle as it should be, and the boys are on the outside.
Now, what's especially cool about this from a dancer experience, the head ladies stay together, work as a couple. When they meet the side man, they turn a left-hand star 3/4 back to the middle to the other ladies. Or no, is it star right 3/4?
I play it here, so.
Oh, they go to the head men, and now they have 4 people in the star.
We can play it slowly, so.
So there's, yeah. Now with the side band, there's 3. It's 3 and 3. Now it's 4 and 2. The size of the stars and turns changes. And you can have 2 boys courtesy turn the 2 girls at the end.
So now, before we can call element left, they must sashay again here.
Yeah.
And then it's element left and right, left, grand, home.
Yeah.
Or promenade.
Yeah, although that looks a bit confusing, it's a very simple prompt when you say head ladies work as a couple and head men work as couples. They get it very, very quickly. So your turns are 1 couple and 1 dancer. It's just like doing a Siamese or a tandem.
Yeah.
It works very, very simple for the dancers. They pick it up very quickly.
Very, very quickly. Now, the other one, the one that I like, is that he can't show this.
But Bob, I'm sorry, we are running out of time.
Okay.
We wanted to say something about singing calls because that's important. A singing call should have 6 corner progressions. So you must put 2 of them into the openers and breaks of your choice. Second, the singing call requires really attention because there's no recorded music, no recorded singing call for rectangles. The singing call is not just about the calls, it's about how these calls fit into the phrases of the music and the character and mood of the music. It's an art to design a singing call. And there's nothing you can just take and play and use. You need to use a square singing call, and adapt it to the rectangle. To not to lose too much time now. There are 3 ways to do this. Insert an H chain 6 at a suitable point in your square singing call, preferably when there's an H chain 4 already or something like this, or there's a little module that can be replaced by H chain 6 if it's possible, because it's 14 beats you have to insert. Or insert relays at UC, that's even more. So with these methods, you probably can no longer use the recorded singing call the way it has been devised by the recording artist. The calls will be just different. So I suggest that you take a singing call that starts with head, square, through, do, si, do, and there are many of those. This is 16 beats, and replace these 16 beats with any of those here. Probably the most interesting one, that's what Bob told me, is this one, and we try it here. We call let's set the square sides, promenade halfway. And while they are doing it, I cannot do it while they're doing it here on Colorama, but while they are doing it, you can call heads as couples, half sachet, and then square through 2. Which means you have brought your dancers to the opposite in the minimum of beats. This is only, it can be done almost in 12 beats, just as long as the sides take to promenade and the heads take to react to your call. So this can certainly be done in the 16 beats that were in square ahead, square through, and do, si, do. And then you can use your singing call as it has been recorded by the artist. Nothing changes. The music fits well with the calls, everything flows well. And when you're done, you say swing your corner and promenade home, and you have an additional advantage. The promenade is not one full around in a square, it's half in a rectangle, which is a little less. So the dancers are not as rushed as they are usually in these singing calls. We heartily recommend this method here to adapt a square dance singing call for rectangle. Any questions?
No. And just to add on to that, the similar modification in your singing calls, just remember, if you are going to do it, you can also do your rotations by saying your weave the ring or your right and left grand as 4 hands, or you do, as was said earlier, the opener, a corner transition for the last 6, or you do your right and left grands or weave the rings as 6 hands. You just remember to make that modification in your openers and breaks as well.
Okay, we have a chapter here, how to resolve the rectangle. We said at the beginning, use modules so you don't come into the situation where you need to resolve, because you may be forced to do this here. Always make a left hand start, pick up your partner, and then in a scatter promenade to your original place. But Bob says he does it differently. What did you tell me just this morning?
On what? Run that by again.
Resolving the rectangle.
Yes.
When your
If it
dancers
breaks down, how do you fix it?
How do you fix it? Oh.
How do you fix it? Okay. Let me explain one thing first that is very important to me and good to my heart about rectangular dancing. I give the dancers a choice. I've asked them this question for 30 years and I always get the same answer. I said I could resolve the square back to your corner. I can do that. But it takes about 2 or 3 tips sometimes for me to do that. So I don't. All I'll do is put you back into a rectangle again. Or I can always get your corner and we'll do 1 or 2 routines per tip, and that's all we'll do. And you have the choice. And everybody says, no, Bob, be creative. Invent things. We love that. So I have lived that with mainstream to advanced. They all have the same answer. And for the first time ever in a new club, it's only my second time I've called there, I had an opportunity to do 6 couples rectangles. And I told them that's what I do. And which would you prefer? And they said, just be creative, show us stuff. And after the tip was over and done and they'd had a good time, 2 separate people came up and said, thank you for not making us get back to our partner. That was a lot of stress that was not in doing this strange stuff. And they were happy about it. Now, as for resolving the square, I would not care where anybody it was. I only care about getting the men in sequence somehow. And if you're looking right now, let's mess it up. Swing through here.
No, I give you a random.
I know.
I give
Trade
you.
by.
No, I give
Whatever.
you. I give you this here, which
Okay, trade
which
by.
is look at the arrangement. It's an unusual arrangement already.
Okay.
So that's
If you can start. If you
medium
can.
difficulty to resolve. So you can do it.
Oh, okay. Everybody face in. And back away. Now, I see that the men are in sequence, right? 1, 2, 3. And the opposite is the same on the other side of the lane.
I should have
Yeah.
made it more difficult for you.
So,
Okay.
so I said 6 men to the center make a left-hand star.
I can't do it here in the software.
Anyway, but I say 6 men to the middle make a left-hand star, turn it, pick up your original partner, promenade home.
Yeah, okay. As long as the men are in sequence, this will work and you
It's
get
a
home.
cop-out. It's a cop-out, but it works. And you're not wasting your time or their time by doing it. I get on a floor and I dance to sight callers, quote unquote, and they go into the resolve the square, and it's the same patterns every time, trying to get to that corner. Well, I could survive one tip of that. I never dance to those callers twice.
But here,
I will never do a second tip.
Okay.
let me
And
say
you
this.
just know that.
Let
He's
me
not-
say this. I believe there are different concepts. Bob, as a creative caller, can trade an exciting creative calling against not resolving. Boring and Reinhold Roedig in Germany, when he called rectangles, couldn't do this because Reinhold Roedig was not as creative. So he got lost and he developed for himself something where he could resolve the rectangle and bring them home because there was no trade-off in his calling. And there may be some callers maybe in the same situation. And that's why I put in here one way to resolve the rectangle in steps where this is and I don't go through it now because we're running out of time. You can read about it. And this is not meant to be done one after the other while the dancers are standing and the caller scratches his head and thinks who is who. This is one of the methods that are outlined in the Caller Lab paper about resolving squares, which has hundreds of pages. And it's based on the two-phased line resolution method. Because in two-phased lines, you can easily see who is with partner, who is not, and you can easily allocate partners by circulating, trading, and so on. But you don't do it step 1, then step 2, then step 3. You achieve one thing, and then you call a module in between anything that works with two-phased lines. And then while you are doing it, you think, what do I do next? And then when they are in a two-phased line again, you do the next step. So the steps would be normalize the couples first, then match one couple, put it to the outside, hopefully not the sides because they are too much on the outside anyway. Then in the middle, resolve like in a square with the two-phase line method. And when you are done, you can fix the sequence of couples in the middle, called then the line and element left. And this can work with some practice. And the dancers will not notice it much if you interject it with modules for two-phase lines. That's my theory on this, but I don't want to expand on it.
If I can interject for a minute, Reinhold?
Yeah.
Essentially what you're saying is if you've got your outside couples there, you can set them up and use the center four couples, resolve to a normal square to get them in sequence, then you can involve the others, or you can get everybody in two-phase lines, just have the girls circulate, center four girls trade, all of those kinds of things to do your pairing. That does get a bit complex, especially for sight callers. The situation that you have on the screen right now is one of the most common situations that happens. Usually you'll have four boys in the middle, four girls on the ends, like that are paired, a pair of couples. So what I found very easy is what Bob was saying. When you're looking at sequence, you only have to count 1, 2, 3. Boys 1, 2, 3, girls 1, 2, 3. So in this case, we're doing okay. Everybody's doing good. So on this one, you can easily do movements that are forward and back. You can do join hands, circle left, circle right, even in this odd abstract. And you can do things like girls backtrack, boys star left, all of those other kinds of things, which the dancers don't pick up on because it's such an unusual way to be circling left or circle right. But it still gives you that same flow where you've got two girls wheeling back and one girl solo wheeling back, passing two boys. It feels different. It's simple. The dancers can do it. It's familiar to them, and they pick up on it very easy. This is actually the easiest arrangement to resolve from because you always have your
what I said, but what about when they're in sequence? It's easy, yes, but when they're not, like 1, 2, 3, 4, still in sequence. My generator always puts them in sequence, so I will.
Yeah. I'm not. There are going to be unusual times, but what I was saying is generally your situations are you're going to have at least two couples paired. In this case, you've got boys paired on the outside, girls paired on the outside.
So now we have.
Or you're going to have mix and matches. Mix and matches. You can do the ladies' chain. You can do that past the ocean, just the center girls trade, and start pairing them up that way, as you were suggesting. All I was saying was both are equally effective. Bob Riggs has a different technique, but these are the kinds of things that you have to play with. And as both of you said right at the beginning, you're a lot better off working with known working modules when you're doing rectangles until you're really, really comfortable with it.
Because here the sequence is mixed. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The boys are still.
The girls are out.
I can mess it up more. Now it's messed up. It's 1, 5, 3, 4, 2. And now the thing with the star in the middle doesn't really work. So here it becomes more difficult. This happens when the caller has used a module or call that doesn't agree with the rectangle, and then we get these mixed sequences here, and it becomes difficult to resolve.
I don't know.
Okay, I leave this for your consideration, and I think we have covered everything, almost everything, with little overtime.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I've got a few questions that have come up. You've answered a good number of them. One is engaging the sides with choreography, such as sides lead right or sides square through split the outside two, and you've answered that. One that came up was, do all square dance modules work? And you've answered that. There was a question that came up with, I'm just trying to get this correct. When you have groups of 3, so from a static square, if you did something like head square through.
Okay.
Okay. So when you have this, if you were doing your chicken plucker routines, for example, so if we just do a pass-through trade by. And the question goes, does any of these 2 couple modules work? From the square, yes, they would, but you were talking about lines, and that's really where we need to get up to.
Yeah.
So, sorry, if we can just take it to partner lines.
Yeah, let's go back here. Sides 8 right, circle up 6.
And I was sent 3 modules that they wanted to look at in partner lines. Looking at the modules that they sent, I believe they're just 2 couple zeros. And I think the question is, do any 2 couple zeros work on this? So the first one was...
well, they should if they're done for all 6 stanzas.
No, hang on. Pass through, bend the line.
That's bad.
Okay, so from here you've got completely out. What they had was pass the ocean.
No, doesn't work.
Girls trade. Swing through. Boys run. Tag the line.
Ah,
Face right.
I'm not sure I can do this. I'm sorry, I cannot replicate it.
Well, if you go back and just go tag the line right.
Let me see.
Yep.
I have it. Yeah.
Okay. Girls run.
Is that all a module?
Yeah, this is a module.
Who
It's a
can
long
memorize? I couldn't memorize it as much.
Left swing through.
Oh.
Boys trade. Boys run. Bend the line. Then pass through. Bend the line.
Yeah, that fixes it. Because
That
now
fixes
we have done bend the line, pass through, bend the line twice,
Yep.
and then we fix it.
So the essence of the question, and they sent me 3 modules, and other ones, I'll post these in the chat. But the essence of it was, when you do a pass through, bend the line with lines of 3, it feels different. Does any 2 couple 0 work as long as you're doing that facing couple 0? And I think the answer would be yes. You
If
have
you
to just do
repeat
another
the
pass
pass
through,
through.
bend the line to fix it at the end.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was that question. You've answered this one. You've answered this one. And you've answered that one. Oh, wait a minute. Got one more message. Yep. So I'm just going to post this in the chat. Thank you for sending in those modules. And that was the essence of pass through, bend the line, plus 2 couple 0, plus pass through, bend the line. So I posted that in the chat, and that goes well with what you've said. Don't discount 2 couple modules, especially when you're working from lines. Pass through, bend the line, 2 couple module. Once you're done, pass through, bend the line brings you back into that partner line. And for dancers, it's a very easy. Someone posted in the chat here. Oh, sorry, this is a message. It says, yes, there are so many interesting yet easy modules you can do with 6 couples. Modular calling is a lot simpler, and the dancers love it. So, Reinhold, Bob, I thank you very, very much. They're going to be sending me the text that you saw on the screen so that you can go back and you can look at it. Reinhold has got the 6 couple choreography. Most of everything works. There's still a couple of little nuances, such as the stars from Oddball mix-ups that don't, but you can visualize those very, very quickly. I want to thank you both very, very much for taking the time to come in and explain and look at 6 couple modules. It is an interesting and a nice, easy innovation that you can do with your dancers, that when you have 6 couples or 10 couples or something along that line, you can actually get everybody up on the floor dancing and just have fun with something that's a little different, a little easy, and a lot of fun. So thank you very, very much for taking the time. And let's open the floor up for questions.
I want to say something about Colorama. You do not have to pay for it. Download it and use it with the rectangle. You can do everything we did today. You can do just, you don't get a long list of your calls here. The list is shorter. You get only 8 calls here, the last 8 calls. But you can call as long as you want and observe the effect of your calls, so you don't have to pay for it right away. If you want to, you can do it later. If you don't, use the free version, because no other software lets you experiment with the rectangle.
And just as a note, if you are going to download Colorama, do not make it a fixed program on your computer, download it and store it like you can do with some of the other programs. Download it, open it up from the site, and you'll get the newest updates with all the new stuff in it all the time in the freeware. And if you purchase Colorama, you'll get all the updates every time you open the program. It'll automatically tell you if there's an update or there's been a software change or anything like that. So Reinhold is very, very good. And the other thing is, as with most software programs, if you have something that you want to do that the system is not doing, send Reinhold an email. His contact details are there, and he will have a look at it. The updates are usually very quick. And if you're on Facebook, there is a Facebook user page called Colorama for Square Dance Callers, or something like that. Colorama for users. I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
Callers who use Colorama.
Callers who use Colorama. So there's a lot of support, a lot of information on the programs, as with the other ones. It's very flexible, but as Mark Hart, you see in his background a lot of the time, he has the dancers going in 3D, which gives you that little different perspective. Thank you very much again.
There was a question, is Colorama available for Mac?
No, you need a Windows platform on Mac.
What is the program I use? Parallels. I bought Parallels for my Mac, and I run it on my Mac.
Yeah. So there are adapter programs. Parallels is one that you can run Macintosh software on a Windows platform, or vice versa. You can run Windows platforms on a Macintosh. My advice is, if you have a Macintosh, there's a little thing at the back of the Macintosh attached to the cable. It's best to take that right down to the wall, pull it out of the wall, throw the whole thing it's attached to away, and buy a real computer.
What he calls a real computer also runs on my Mac.
Bad form, Mel. Bad form.
Ho, ho, ho.
I love teasing Macintosh users, but actually Macintosh is a very good platform, especially if you're into publishing. But it's actually a better computer and the programs for publishing. But I personally like a Windows PC. I learned on DOS, so I'm biased.
I learned on a Mac, that's why I'm biased.
Okay, there's a question in the chat. Have either of today's presenters worked with odds and even couples in 6-couple sets? Like odd couples do this, even couples do that.
I have not.
I have not either. I've seen that in hexagons, but I've never seen it in rectangles. Whoever asked that, if you want to clarify the question or discuss it a bit, or if it's just a general question, I think the answer is no.
The question is from me,
Hi,
Matt,
Ryan.
and I use it quite a lot. It's just a different variation. You're limited with what you can do, but it allows you to have, because the odd couples and the even couples are every second couple around the set. Like the even couples are 2, 4, and 6, and odd couples are 1, 3, and 5. So you can have, for instance, the 3 even men take your corner into the middle and back, and the 6 of you circle to the left, reverse back, and make a left-hand star. Pick up your original partner, star promenade, back out and circle to the left, and then you've got a circle with boy, boy, girl, girl all the way around, but everybody's adjacent to their original partner. And then you can have, for instance, everybody face your original partner and a right and left grand. So you've got a boy, girl, right and left grand around the set, but you're going to end up meeting your original partner at the end. Just easy yet different varieties that you can use with dancers. You don't need to explain anything other than who are the odd couples and who are the even couples in the set.
Mm-hmm.
And it works really well.
Absolutely.
If you
and again, it's nice and simple, and it just feels a little bit different.
Absolutely. And if you have, say, for instance, in a singing call, I'll have the 3 even couples go into the middle and circle to the left, reverse back and make a left-hand star, pick up your corner with an arm around, star promenade, and then the outside 6, which are 3 boys and 3 girls, backtrack, meet the same corner, swing and promenade. So you've got a corner progression in a singing call.
Yeah. No, I see that. I did want to mention, Reinhold said that there's no recordings of 6-couple choreography in the downloads, the records and whatnot that we have at the moment. But there are a few videos out there of callers calling 6 couples. It's actually something that's done a fair bit in Japan. There's a few videos I was watching the other day. Nancy Chen has got a few recordings and whatnot, and you can see how they modify, like Reinhold was saying, on the changes. So it's not an opener, break, closer where you get back to your partner each time. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, or sometimes, as Bob was saying, you can do the changes as part of the choreographic sequencing. So have a look, a little bit of searches, away you go. There's lots of material out there. And also keep in line what was being said about the circulate. The circulate is a bit different in 6 couples than it is in squares. So your base modules and your base conversions. So if you have a corner box, swing through, girls circulate, boys trade, boys run, bend the line. That's a foundation module. That works to 0 out. But if you have them out of sequence, and your resolve is a recycle to the corner, like past the ocean recycle, I should say, then a circulate will bring them back in, and your resolves will work, but it rotates the square. It's almost an invert, because it'll take number 4 on the outside and put number 6 on the outside. So there's little techniques like that you will discover, but you'll discover a lot more once you start playing with the modules and seeing how they work. Bob and Reinhold, I think it's Reinhold, you're going to send me a copy of your presentation, the text, and I will post that up along with some 6-couple choreography that has been sent in, and that will all be available on the website, which Mark Hart will post up as soon as we get the chat window and everything else. So the room is open. Once again, thank you, Bob, and thank you, Reinhold. Excellent presentation, as always. You've given us a lot to think about, but mainly 6-couple is nothing to be afraid of. Let the dancers enjoy it and have fun with the novelty.
That's it.
So,
Novelty.
thank you. Thank you very much.
And what I like versus the hexagon, it's novelty with no strain. It's normal dancing for the dancers.
Yeah. And that is actually a big comfort thing. Dancer comfort zone, if it's familiar, but just a little different. Different, not difficult is the catchword. And rectangles fit that bill very nicely.
I did a presentation at Color Lab, which is available, and it was to a standing room only audience. And I did it for 3 years in a row, the same presentation, because it was so popular and a lot of callers got a lot from it. And that's still available.
I believe it is. Are there any questions?
I have a couple of routines that I'm happy to share if you're interested in them, Mel.
Absolutely. Just a second, though. Let me pull up.
Can you give them so slowly enough that I can type them in?
Was that to me? I didn't understand.
Yeah, that was to you. If you can do them slowly, because I'm just gonna share my screen here for a second, Reinhold. So if you can see on my screen here, there's a lot of 6-couple routines. This is that Venus and Mars routine that you were talking about earlier.
We've still got Reinhold's screen on.
Yes.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
Okay. Can you see it now?
Text.
Okay, so there's a number of 6-couple routines here going through various levels. And as we've been talking, I've been putting a few of them into this. So this is what I'll be sending to Mark. So Reinhold, if you want to reshare your screen, and Brian, if you can go slowly, I can also type it in here.
Well, I already know that I cannot do on Colorama what Brian will call probably, because it's I can probably not follow. I can try, but I'm probably not prepared for it. But we can try.
Okay.
If it's the odd and even couples, I cannot do it. If it's the Venus and Mars, I cannot do it. I can only do the straightforward stuff that you would do in a square.
Okay, I'll try and stick to straight stuff.
Ah, good.
I'll do it slowly. We're talking about working with side couples because so many callers do concentrate on the head couples for choreography, and a couple of really easy, different and novel ways of setting up, for instance, a zero line. If you have side couples, face your partner, back up, make a line of 6. And then if you want to, forward and back just to establish everything. But then in the lines of 6, bend the line. There's your zero line.
Yep.
Okay, back into the square again.
Back into square?
Yep, just from the start.
These are just different get-ins.
Yeah, different.
Okay, yeah, okay. Mm-hmm.
Side couples, past the ocean. Ladies trade.
Ah.
That was a trade the wave, I think.
Yeah. Good.
Mary Sinner's trade.
Yeah, there's something wrong here.
Well,
Just tell us.
Yeah.
Okay, sides past the ocean. Let's see if this will work. Recycle. Veer left.
Very centers veer left. Yeah.
Yep.
I have only limited moves for this situation because as far as the software goes, these need all to be programmed, whereas
Right.
it's not there.
Can you
sorry.
finish the Can you finish the sequence, Brian, so that I can get them typed in here?
Well, the sequence was sides past the ocean, ladies trade, swing through, boys run.
Yep.
Those who can are right and left through.
Oh yeah, that's on this line here. Yeah. Mhm.
Yep.
Pass through.
Yep.
Those who can are right and left through.
Yep.
Pass through.
Yep.
Everybody bend the line.
And the ending is the same for the
To zero line.
and for the sides past the ocean, recycled, veer left. Same thing as swing through, boys.
Yeah. I was just trying to set up the
Yep, no worries.
the-
I'm just typing these into the long list, so it's all there.
Okay. And then if, as a resolve to home, from there, if you have head couples bend the line again.
Hang on. Yep.
Everybody's home in your square again. This could be a can we get our square again? Our six couple set?
I just do the ending of your. I can do the ending end line.
Where's the set, Reinhold? Reset. There you go.
There we go. Okay. This is an interesting resolve to home, if you would like it.
From where?
From here.
Okay, so static square to home.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could set it up anyway, but we're going to go to a zero box. So head couple square through 4. Swing through.
Yep.
Boys trade. Ladies circulate. Boys run. Bend the line. So you got a zero line again set up, but with all the couples one position around from their home position. From here, touch a quarter. Single file circulate once and a half.
I pass out.
That single file circulate once. Can we go another half?
No, I cannot do it. The dancers can do it.
Right. Well, maybe that's something that we can work on for the program.
Certainly.
After you've done the once and a half, those who can cast off 3/4.
Yep.
Original sides, bend the line. Everybody else drop hands and step backwards.
Okay, 1.5. That has the side dancers doing the bend the line as individuals. Correct?
Yeah, just the side. Well, no, as a couple.
Well, if they do a circulate 1/2, cast off 3/4 puts them in the. Yeah, I'm with you.
All right. You want another one?
I'm
I don't.
quite happy putting him in here because I think a lot of people would be very happy to have some fixed modular choreography to get started with. So go ahead.
I'm not sure that this will work with the program, but let's see if we can try it. Heads past the ocean.
Yep.
Ladies trade.
Yep.
Extend.
Yep.
Have we got an extender? There we go. Okay, now, ladies let each other go. Everybody split circulate. Hey, look at that. Swing through. Boys run.
Yeah, that's a nice right rotation.
Ah,
Have we got a boys run?
I must find it. There's no, of course it will. Oh, it's these boys run.
All the boys. All the
All
boys.
Boys run, yeah.
All the boys run.
Yeah. Well, I must do it separately. I can do it, but separately.
There we go.
Now I got to do the center boys now.
Yeah.
And the yeah.
No, I cannot make it too, but I can move them by hand.
Center boys run.
That I mean that takes too long for watchers.
Can you do very center boys run? Center 4 boys run?
Let me try this.
That should not be difficult.
I cannot hit on these here separately.
Yeah, I couldn't do it either. I had to move them manually.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us the rest, Brian.
Well, from there we've got the same situation where you can have those who can a right and left through, etc. Or
yeah.
Or
in a moment.
I find from here I do this occasionally when I'm traveling and calling for different groups. I'll do the old dip and dive routine.
Yes.
The center's arch, the outside's dive through, dip and dive all the way around until you get back to this same position again. And as you can see, everybody's in sequence. If you do a bend the line, from here you've got a zero line.
Yeah.
May I add something?
Absolutely.
1 second. One second.
Yep. Okay.
Team. Okay.
A nice thing is to play with. No, back to the same we just had. Okay. Yeah.
I just did the dive through.
Okay. Well, he didn't mean dive through, but dip and dive. That's different.
Dip and dive. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one dive through after the other. Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dip and dive in this case would be a dive through, dive through, dive through.
Yeah.
From there it would be, yes.
Yeah.
We'll have to do it
not from where we had it before, though.
No, I'm just saying to finish it.
Yeah.
We'll have to do it 6 times, yeah. But if we could go back where they were in sequence, another 3 dive throughs.
Yeah.
Or
Okay,
you can just do undo call twice.
There we go. We're in
there
sequence
we are.
now.
Well, there we are. Okay.
Yep.
What I quite often call from here is in square through 3, and makes other dancers first stop and say, we can do it, but the others can do it. If they're very shaky, I would call those who can square through 3.
Yep.
And
I like that.
we're not done yet. It's another fine thing coming, because we got one couple facing out then, and the others are facing again, so we could call it trade by on each half of the set.
Yep.
And you can call that more often. And you see dancers do in the past do end the trade and say, you only paid for one. It's either the pass through or the trade. So it's a little bit type of for educating as well. Yeah.
Except they've now changed the definition of trade by.
Yes.
Which is unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't buy that one. I had thought of it. But I do a square through 3 followed by a left square through 3
Yep.
Nice.
into the bend the line.
Or interesting thing you can do from here too is when we had one of the outside couples facing out and one facing in, so you could have those who can right and left through. If you do a tag the line, everybody tag the line, and just the leaders do a U-turn back.
All right.
And star through, and then you've got your same oddball thing again that you can work with.
Well, I like to get it so all the outsides are facing out. So I do the square through 3 followed by a left square through 3. And after that, I do the wheel and deal to set up the triple pass-through choreography. Like I said, I'm not always into who's in sequence yet or not, but that would be easy enough to work with.
The other thing would just work with a cast off 3/4, and you're back into partner lines.
Well, here you can promenade home.
Tag the line.
Right.
What did you have after the leaders trade? Tag the line, leaders trade.
Star through.
Oh, sorry, no, leader. It was leaders turn back, wasn't it?
Leaders U-turn back, yes. Star through.
Yeah, that'll put you back.
And then you've got the potential for a 0 line out of sequence then.
Yeah, the only issue that you have with that is the normal right and left through to bring them back into sequence changes the sequence order in a 6 couple. That's where your pass through bend the lines would definitely come in handy.
No, you don't need to do that. You just, if you've done the those who can right and left through, or your dip and dive routine, then if you have everybody tag the line, leaders U-turn back, star through, then you can do the same thing again, and then bend the line, star through, pass through, other man left.
Repeat.
Square through 3, element left. Because you were in sequence, right?
Out of sequence after the tag the line.
Tag the line, leaders turn back, star through.
Yep.
Repeat that sequence.
Yep.
Tag
So
the line, leaders turn
well,
back,
no,
star through.
you don't do the tag the line again. After you've done the tag the line, leaders turn back, star through, and then whatever you do with those groups, whether it's a dip and dive or whether it's those who can right and left through, after you finish that, then bend the line.
Hang on. To get back to the same footprint. Okay, now they've done the dip and dive routine, then
Everybody bend the line.
Okay, now it's a star through and a pass through.
Yes.
yeah, star through, pass through. That's the other sequence. Yeah, okay.
If you do the tag the line twice, then it's a square through 3.
Yeah, that's where I thought you were going.
Yeah.
Or tag the line, turn back, star through. Tag the line, U-turn back, star through, routine. Then tag the line, star through. Tag the line, star through, that'd be a square through 3. Star through, pass through, Allen and left. Square through 3, left square through 3, Allen and left. Okay,
There's
so
another
what I've got written here is heads past the ocean, ladies trade, extend. On your own side, you're doing a split circulate, swing through, boys run. And here is where the stars start. You can do a dip and dive routine back to the same spot, then bend the line, which will give you a partner line.
Yep.
You can do a dip, the routine. You can do a square through 3 followed by a left square through 3. Finish the routine. You can do a tag the line, leaders turn back, star through, dip and dive routine back to the same footprint, or the dive through, or the other routine. Then bend the line, star through, pass through to an Alaman left, or
Correct.
Tag the line, leaders U-turn back, do your dip and dive routine, do another tag the line, star through. I had square through 2, that should be a square through 3 to the Alaman left.
Okay, I got one more.
One second.
When after that, tag the line, you turn back, star through, do your routine. Another I really like is bend the line, pass through, boys fold, star through, and promenade.
As long as they're all facing
with your
promenade
corner.
direction, then, because sometimes you'll end up with them back to back.
Excuse me. We had either mixed couple, it didn't matter. You pass through. You're paired with your partner. Boys fold, they're on the outside. They do a star through. The boy's left shoulder is to the inside.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Bob. Yes.
I think he was thinking tag the line rather than pass through.
I was, yes. Yeah, sorry, Bob.
You were thinking pass through, leaders turn back.
Yes, I
No
was.
problem.
Okay, so that's from a partner line setup, is it, Bob?
Yes.
Okay, so partner line to resolve. And you're doing pass through, boys fold.
No. Partner line out of sequence, it'd have to be.
Yeah, they were out of sequence. You had already done the tag the line, girls, you turn back.
Okay, 1 second, I'm just gonna catch up here. Okay, or tag the line, girls turn back. What did you do after the back? Tag the line, girls turn back? Or leaders turn back? I can't hear you, Bob.
You did a dip and dive or anything else that got them back
Yeah.
to the same place.
Dip and dive routine, yep.
Then you do a bend the line.
Bend the line, pass through, boys fold, star through. Right.
Yes.
Added to the list.
I've got another one. You want another one?
Sure.
Back into your squared set again.
What is this routine doing first?
It's going to get us into a right and left grand.
Okay, so it's a static square to a right and left grand.
Yep. Okay. Heads right and left through.
1 second, I'm just. Yeah.
Past the ocean. Extend.
Yep.
Swing through. Ladies circulate. Oh, no. Just, sorry, unravel a bit. Just sorry, Mel. Go back to after you extend. Sorry.
Yep.
Okay, so
Got the-
ladies circulate now.
Yep.
Swing through.
Yep.
And then because it's a technical zero, if you want to, you can call all 12 circulate. It won't make any difference. Or you can just do it straight from here. Boys run. Ferris wheel. Those who can, Alaman left. The others roll away. Everybody right to left grand.
Yep. So that'd be the center's Alaman left, ends roll away.
I let the centers do a left turn through instead because I have this. And the,
Yep. And outside's half sachet.
Yeah.
I've got a singing call routine.
Can I give you an opener first? Six ladies chain.
Hang on. What is this one? This is just an opener to where?
Just an opener for hex. Heads past the ocean. Ladies trade. Recycle. Pass through and do a Dixie Grand.
That's to an Alaman left.
To an Alaman left. Promenade your partner. Short promenade.
Okay, I just got to move that down into the plus section. 1 second.
It just gives you a nice opener for at the plus level, yeah.
I've got a nice
Hang
ending
on, I got Mickey first
Yes,
for the
yes,
singing
yes.
call. What level are we at here, Mick? Are we still in mainstream?
Mainstream, yeah.
Okay.
This is real nice. Dancers enjoy it very much. It's heads lead right,
Yep.
veer left, bend the line, past the ocean,
Yep.
spin chain through.
Yep.
Now the neat thing is, if we have time, we can play around a little bit, like an hinge and scoot back. Or if we do not want 6 times the progression because we would like to have the middle break of a singing call we choose and the ending, that we will skip one girl, we either can swing the first time, we got the corner, and the second time we have the routine, we call it turn through and take the next lady, which we'll skip one. So at the ending, we will all have partners. So there is a little bit the possibility to play with it. What I like to do sometimes is, while the boys are doing the work through the middle, have the girls face right, do it twice. If called in timing, they're done with their quarter turns and easily can walk into a promenade or even in a cast off 3/4 if there is more time, depending on how skilled the dancers are and how much time you need for the singing call, for the promenade, the dancers to get around and the lyrics that you would like to present.
Very nice.
Yeah, another one like that was the heads touch a quarter, boys run, and then just your standard swing through, girls circulate, boys trade, boys run, couples circulate, bend the line, slide through, square through 3. There's a swing your corner. That moves you over 1. Most of those singing call routines in hexes that start with a square through, if you do a touch a quarter, boys run, and drop the do si do, will fit into your singing call routines. It's just you have to allow them that break in the music at the end to swing your corner, allow that 6 beats of music to play before you do the tagline on the singing call. And most of those will also fit into the routines as well.
And you have picked 2 head couples and 1 side couples. I sometimes switch and have 1 head couple and 2 side couples depending on how the room is.
Yeah. Okay, well there's a lot of material here. Thank you very much for everybody that has been sending in material and adding on. This this page of this document, which started at 4 pages when I opened it up, is now at 10 pages of 6 couple routines going through basic, mainstream, and plus, and A1. And if there's more, it's there. So if you are calling and you're looking just for some nice material, modules are great. Most of your standard modules, your 2 couple modules and your standard square modules will work as long as you're not doing an interactive flow, such as the all 8 circulate as part of your module and a routine solve. If you're doing a 2 couple module, left through, slide through, all of those things will work as patter. All of those things will work as singing calls. From your lines, pass through, bend the line. You the lines of 6, but the bend the line is 3. It feels different. Any 2 couple module will work at any point. As a general rule, these are just the things that are coming to mind. As a general rule, if you're using the chicken plucker routine, use the routine that keeps them in sequence, pass through, trade by without the right and left through. And then you can just move your 2 couple zeros right across and do an entire 180-degree rotation. Just remember to do it twice. 8 chain 6 is a good flip-flop. Have I missed?
12 chain 2 is a good alternative for pass through, trade by.
Did you say 12 chain 2?
12 chain 2.
That's an 8 chain 2, but it's 12.
Yeah.
It's a good alternative.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
Actually, you know, you're absolutely correct. I was just thinking that would be a 12 chain 6, not an 8 chain 6, but yeah, you're right. I'm just wondering.
You gotta be careful because I once called 8 dancers circulate, or all 8 circulate, and they stopped and asked which 8.
Yeah.
Hey, can I show you something, Mel?
Absolutely.
Using the progression chicken plucker, head square through 4. Okay, I'm just going to give you all of them that it is, okay?
Hang on.
Through trade by. To get out, Alabama left, right, and left hand on the third hand. Or right, left hand, 3 hands and bow to the partner. You know, or on the third hand. Oh, it's with your third hand. You meet your partner, touch a quarter, boys run. Okay.
Yep.
And then if you do another pass through trade by, it's an Alabama left, right and left grand.
Hang on. Square through. Pass through, trade by.
Or
And then another pass through, trade by.
right and left grand on the 5th hand, touch a quarter, boy run. Oh, well, should have been. I don't know what happened there.
But on the 5th hand,
This is the 6th hand. So a right and left grand 6 hands, and you'll meet your partner. So on the other one, it's a right and left grand 4 hands, meet your partner, touch a quarter, boys run at home. And each time, or do a right and left grand 2 hands, touch a quarter, right, left. Yeah, that's on the 3rd hand.
the first one would be the 5th hand, wouldn't it? because that'd be the fourth dancer. Because you want to do
from
the
here?
touch a quarter with the right
Yeah.
hand.
I think from here, yeah.
So the first one would be head square through, pass through, trade by, Alaman left, but on the fifth hand.
Is that correct?
No,
Touch a-
third.
It's
On the third hand. One,
Yeah.
two, three. On the third hand. And then if you do head square through, pass through, trade by, pass through, trade by, right and left, or sorry, that would be Alaman left. Right and left grand, but on the fifth hand.
Slide.
Yeah.
Or, touch a quarter
Yeah.
run. And that gives variety to the dancer. It doesn't seem much like you as callers, but the dancers are wowed, especially, you can do a little mix module in there and do it. And it's like, it's the wrong one. It's the wrong one. Well, they've always done a lot of on the third hands, especially out here. I don't know out there, but that's very common. But do it on the fifth hand. Whoa, wait a minute.
And you can even play with it and have another pass through trade by and build it up. And everybody expects the seventh hand, but you just call on the sixth hand courtesy turn and promenade.
Yes. Or from here, do a 12 chain 6, and on the sixth hand courtesy turn, you're home.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, usually if they start a right and left grand with not the partner, you can see eyebrow arouses and their faces. And then I tell them we're not done yet, or when they get their partner on the third or fifth hand, just like we working the routine, then I say, now the smile is coming back.
And 1 second. Now, as always, I've been typing as we're going. I believe I've got these routines correct. But as always, with any choreography that is presented from any of sessions or any copying, any pasting, or downloading off of any choreographic website, always double check the choreography with either the computer program, Colorama, Taminations, or your checkers. With six-couple choreography, as Reinhold has shown, most of the standard six-couple choreography, the standard square choreography works. If you have some anomalous choreography, such as couple 1 and 3 or every second couple stuff, you'll have to get out your checkers.
yeah.
But make sure you double check your choreography and your modules before you use them.
Would you like a couple of resolve to homes in the Plus program?
I'm more than happy to put anything on here and flesh this out.
All right. Well, from here, which is a 0 box,
Hang on.
you've done the square through.
Corner box to home.
Yeah.
Yep.
Swing through, boys, run.
Yep.
Couples circulate. Ferris wheel.
Yep.
Dixie Grand. Right, left, right.
Yep.
Bow to your corner. Don't do the Alaman left, and it surprises the dancers because they're expecting to do an Alaman left. So if you go right, left, right, bow to your corner, everybody's home.
Important to note that is a corner box exact, as in a head square through corner box.
Yep. The other one is from a squared set again. Heads right and left through. Past the ocean. Ladies trade. Extend.
Lead to the left box.
Fan the top. Single hinge.
So,
Follow your neighbor. and spread, grand swing through, single hinge, boys run,
There's your corner box.
out of your corner. I don't know whether this program allows you to do asymmetrical, does it?
Yes, but only with 8 people, not with 12.
Oh, okay, right, okay. I'll keep that one to myself then.
I wonder if this would work. So we've got a head square. Let's try from here. Touch a quarter. Oh, sorry. Okay, head square through. Touch a quarter. Follow your neighbor and spread. Acey-deucey. Girls run. Boys hinge. Diamond circulate. Girls grand swing through. Diamond circulate. Boys grand swing through. Good, it does work. Flip the diamond. Circulate twice. Hinge and roll. Right and left grand.
Neat, very good.
Yeah. I was just stealing your grand swing through idea. I saw that in there. I said, well, if they stepped ahead, those boys are standing still. How the hell do I do that? And I thought, oh, geez, a diamond will just circulate them out. I don't have to be facing. Yeah. So yeah, and from there, it's just a short promenade home.
Good.
And that what I really like about 6 couple routines is when you have something like your dip and dive routine or your square through 3, left square through 3, square through 3 routines, you get a repetition with different people that is familiar. So like, for instance, girls grand swing through, it's just 6 girls swing through, and then boys grand swing through. It feels completely different, but it's still familiar at the same time. So it's easy to flow, and it's easy and logical to be perceived by the dancers, which goes into what Bob was saying right at the beginning. It doesn't have to be really difficult technically. It'll feel different even though it's really simple. Doing a swing through, which is all you really do. We're calling it a grand swing through because there's 6 people in the wave, but it's just a swing through. And it just feels that little bit different.
A neat way of setting up a different neat way of setting up a zero box is if you have heads lead right.
What level are we in here?
This will be basic. All the girls on the diagonal pass through.
That'd be girls cross.
Okay, so that's A1.
Yeah, no, but if you could say girls on the diagonal pass through, but at A1 the girls will do a cross from here.
Yep.
That's the equivalent. So if you just do girls cross, Reinhold?
Oh yeah, I must have my advanced calls. No, I don't, because I cannot just apply the call in the 6 couple. It has to be programmed, unless it is only for the center 8. The way this works is, the way I did the programming is, I can apply all the calls that Colorama can do in a square to this rectangle here. Everything.
What about Bell's cross?
Because I do not have to program it. I just direct it to this rectangle here, to the center, to the heads. Whoever is in the middle, to the 8 dancers, everything else, if I address all dancers like in a box,
So
when I have to address all dancers in programming, I need to
Okay.
program every call.
Yeah. So do a half
Unless-
step, eh?
No,
Unless
Turn back.
no.
I apply it.
Do a reverse flutter, girls. You turn back, and you've got the girls
That'll
cross.
do it.
Okay, then start from the beginning again. Was it heads lead to the right? No.
Yep.
Well,
heads lead right.
yeah, Brian was it. Heads lead to the right.
Um,
Here you want to do a reverse flutter wheel and girls turn back.
Reverse flutter wheel.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Girls
then
you
girls
turn
turn
back.
back. That's just replacing the girls on the diagonal pass through.
Yeah, well, I would never call a reverse flutter wheel from there because it's so squashy. But
No,
if
but the purpose here is to use the software to learn
Yeah.
about how it works, and then you can use any equivalent.
single file circulate. Boys run.
Oh, there's a nice corner box. One side over.
Yep.
And it feels different because it's not always the sides on the outside.
Absolutely.
I like that. I wanted to try something there if I could, Reinhold. I don't know if it does it when you're setting up. We'll do a Dixie Grand like that, but from a static square, yeah. Oh, sorry. Let's do a heads star through. And California twirl. Okay, let's do a triple pass through.
Can't do a triple pass through from there.
No.
Okay, so pass through.
And then a double pass through.
No.
Yeah, centers pass through.
The outside could do a triple pass through.
Yes.
No. I just want the centers. Sorry, not the very centers. Center 4, or center 4 couples. Center 8, if you will.
Center 8.
Yeah, some do pass through, some do double,
And now the very centers
triple.
pass through. I was just trying to set this up. I just wanted to look at something. Okay, cloverleaf. Okay, so we do a center 4 square through 3. Okay, and then center 8 pass through. Square through 3. Trade by Dixie Grand. I don't think that's going to work. No, that's not going to work. That's a right-hand lady. Okay, scratch that idea. Oh, wait a minute. Let's try this. Heads star through. If I did just the center 4 California twirl, will that work?
Yeah.
Or you could go for a.
Now I can do the triple pass through.
Yep.
Cloverleaf. And now I'm going to steal your ending here, Alan. The center 4 square through 3. pass through. Be the center 8. Everybody square through 3. Trade by Dixie Grand. Alaman left. It does work. Okay.
Cool.
Good.
Yeah. What I really like about these types of sessions is when somebody throws out an idea, square through 3, pass through, square through 3, you can build on them from all sorts of things. What I was just looking at that big looping cloverleaf after a triple pass through. Very familiar, but that will really feel different as well.
Can I do another one with you? Heads pass through.
What level are we in?
This will be basic or mainstream.
Okay.
Wheel and deal.
Hang on. Heads pass through. Wheel and deal.
Zoom. Now I don't know whether you can do this now with your set. You can do it with real dancers, but if you can't do it now, you would do it first. Side couples right and left through.
Through the middle.
Yep.
I can
Sides promenade halfway.
I can maybe promenade them around.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I cannot now. I should have done it first. I cannot do it now. Just picture them reversed.
Or
Yellow here and the blue here.
I'll just go back to the beginning.
yeah, and do the right and left through first.
Now do a sides promenade half.
Oh, right and left through is better than promenade half.
They'll stay in the middle.
Middle.
Oh,
Sides
okay.
back, yeah. There
All
we go.
right. Okay.
Okay, so now you do your heads pass through
Okay.
wheel and
Heads
deal.
pass through. Wheel and deal. Zoom. Double pass through. Promenade to the left, 3/4.
Promenade to the left.
3/4. 3/4.
That would be here, here, here.
So first couple go left, next couple go left, 3/4.
Yeah.
You're back into the head position.
Yeah.
No, back into the side position. You're behind the
Back.
side couples.
Yeah, we end up here with the rectangle flipped. But
If you
I
want to
cannot
promenade
maybe-
left 3/4, so you want couple number 1 to stand behind
Yeah.
couple number 3. Is that correct?
I
That's
cannot
correct.
do.
It's improper. It's improper. You got 6 couples.
Yeah, the dancers would do that, but you'd have to give them the prompt, and that would be first couple left, next couple left, promenade all the way, stand behind couple number 1 behind couple number 3, or give them some kind of prompt.
Well, I just say promenade to the left, 3/4, stop behind the side couple.
Yeah, your dancers would understand that. Technically, it would be an improper call, but the dancers would do that with no problem whatsoever.
How
Okay.
far do you want them to go? I didn't. Is it just to the nearest guys on the left, or is it all the way around?
Now,
All the
Oh,
way
yeah.
around. Couple number 1, he wants to be behind couple number 3.
And couple number 2 behind number 1.
Right.
And 4 will end up behind 6.
Yep.
By the way, I would do instead of doing the right and left through the middle, I would actually do the sides promenade, because it would keep them busy while the heads are messing around in there with the wheel and deals and stuff.
yeah, you could also do heads promenade right and stand behind the sides. That way they're one couple. But if either one of those would work. So where do we go after that? into the triple pass through.
Would be a triple pass through.
Yep.
First couple go left, next couple go right, third couple California twirl.
Okay, that'll give me a
0 line. 0 line.
162. If I do a couple number 1 is standing behind couple number 3, couple number 2 is standing behind couple number 1, would give me a triple pass through, 3, 1, 2, yep, partner line.
Yep.
0 line, yep. So any 0 line, get out from there.
I'm just
What
ready.
would be a nice gimmick or flow even if you go like first couple left, next couple right, and the center's California trill, make them face, and just the very ends on each side, element left, and everybody go right and left grand.
Yeah.
Or triple pass through, first left, next right, trailer swing, Alaman, yeah, anything like that. There's all sorts of simple fillers. That's going back to what Bob was saying at the beginning. Even if you get that boy, boy, girl, girl, boy, girl combination, if they're all in sequence, which is what you're creating, any kind of ending will work here. The stars, the couples, the two couples zeros, as long as they're not gender. Once you put them in that line, if it's not a gender-based line, you can do anything that you want with a two couple zero, and bring them back to that swing your partner. Sorry, somebody just posted something here in the chat here. What do we got here? From Mark, normal square arrangement.
Yeah, it's just me. I was just playing around.
Okay, so what is that? If you want to.
I said I was just playing around.
Yeah, does the sequence work?
Yeah.
Well, then let's have it so I can type it in here.
Ladies chain 5-6.
5-6.
So that would be, you want them to go to the third person, is it?
I don't know. The call's listed as ladies chain 5-6.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want. Sorry, you want a right hand lady. You want to move the ladies right one person. Ladies chain 5/6. Yep.
Head square through.
Yep.
Right and left through. Pass through. Trade by. All star through.
Hang on. Yep.
Right and left through. Alaman left. Right and left grand 6. Swing to promenade home.
And the only thing I would have an issue with that is an Alaman left right after a right and left through.
Yeah.
So star through, and because that is pass through, trade by star through, a pass through, and a wheel around would actually, rather than the right and left through, would set you up with a better flow.
Left square through on the third hand, element left.
Yeah, or that. Third hand.
Oh, here is the ladies chain 5-6. Sorry.
I'll be back in a few.
Okay, I've got it. I got a new message here. What's this? See you, Scotty. There's an awful lot of material there. I'm just going to save that as a PDF. Now, where did that save is the question. Save as. Okay, and I've just posted all the choreography that we've been talking about into the chat as a PDF. Mark, can you pull it off of there? Or do you want me
Yes,
to
I
email it to
can.
you? Okay, and Reinhold and Bob, if you could send me your text, we'll
Yeah.
get that posted up as well with the video.
Give me 10 minutes after we close and you will have it.
No worries, no rush. Wow, that's an awful lot of six couple material. Excuse the typos and excuse if there's any duplication because I was trying to do this as fast as I could here.
I think what would be useful is if somebody could pair singing choreography figure with actual recordings and say this works. So a caller can say, I can get this music and I have this singing call figure, and somebody said this will work related to actual music. Maybe Bob can do this. He owns music. But he has, I think Bob went swimming. He's actually in Florida. And he went swimming. But I think that would be useful, Mel. Some examples where the music and the choreography for six couples fit together.
Yep. Now we can talk to Bob about that. He's got a lot of lines. Bob Reinhold was just saying it might be an idea to do a couple of singing calls with some simple six couple choreography, the opener, the figures, the break, the modifications, and just do some recordings like that so that they have that in the text with music, that if somebody wants to use it, it's there for them, especially for some new callers to see the metering.
Well, that would be a copyright issue. What I mean is somebody says this singing call figure works very well with this recorded music.
Reinhold, you don't realize an issue. I have the music. So I can add a six couple routine on a song I already have, and it wouldn't be any.
Yeah, of course, that would be a great service. Mm-hmm.
I'll talk to Mel about doing it. He's eager for new stuff and new challenges. But you see, I get a different thing. I have gotten by for 20 years just using the same singing call figure because I don't do one every tip. Okay? And the basis of my singing call figure is square through, four hands, meet your quarter, 8 chain 6, swing and promenade. And for me, that times out. People get right back home when I need them to within 2 beats. And the other one is I'll do square through, four hands, relay the deucey. Boys run and promenade, same result. They get back home just virtually very close. If you're worried about, okay, there's an extra 4 beats of promenade in there, which there is. You say promenade, be sure you go all the way home and then sing. You can add a few little filler words for the extra 4 beats. But I've gotten by that. Why did I say 8 chain 6? Because I'll do head square through 4 pass through trade by 8 chain 4 swing and promenade. Or I'll do 2 pass throughs or head square through 4 pass through trade by 8 chain 2 pass through trade by swing and promenade. In my head, that's all 8 chain 6 every time. But the dancers don't see it as being the same.
Yep.
And, like I say, that's gotten by me with 20 years, and I have people coming up and say, oh, that was great that time. The singing call for me is not to show them how good a puzzle creator resolver I am. They already know that. The singing call is to sing the damn song.
Yep.
That's what I care about, you know? And I'll use the side face grand square or the teacup chain. And gee whiz, they do that while I sing the song. That's wonderful. That's all I care about. I'm in the entertainment business. True, if you've ever danced to me, and Reinhold will verify it, I'm a great puzzle maker, and I get people through them, and I can do that. That's called patter. Singing calls are for entertainment, but that's my philosophy, and everybody's different. You'll notice that I think almost every singing call that I produce, the vast majority, 90% plus, have either a circle left or a grand square. Because any idiot could say 4 ladies chain her back, join hands, circle, Alavan left and weave. Or one of the other mindless things where they're saying, I think patter should be as tricky as, singing calls should be as tricky as the patter. I don't buy that. And
No.
what's Color Lab want to do? They want to drop all the circular choreography anyway. They don't want to do Alamanthars anymore. It's just, what can I say? I won't say anything.
Bob, you're fading out to me. Is it just me?
No, my mind is going. How's that? Is that better?
Well,
it's my angle I'm on a swivel chair.
Oh.
And I rotate away from the microphone.
One of the things that Bob is mentioning, and it's very important to realize, if you have most of your square dance singing call choreography, one of the biggest fears that people have with choreography when they do 6-couple routines is it takes so much longer to do something. If you look at a lot of your routines, a lot of the calls that are out there have endings such as touch a quarter, scoot back. They have, like a good example, heads promenade halfway, square through, swing through, boys run Ferris wheel, square through 3. Whereas the module is actually swing through, boys run Ferris wheel, centers pass through. That's your 0 module. That head square through, swing through, boys run Ferris wheel, centers pass through, swing your corner. That's 30 beats. Swing and promenade, that takes you to your 62 beats, which is going to give you ample time to do this from the home. Any of your choreography that ends with the fancy things that gets you back to that corner box, touch a quarter, scoot back at plus, touch a quarter, follow your neighbor, and spread, swing your corner. All of that is end filler that can be dropped in a 6-couple routine to work smoothly with your promenades. You can, and as Bob Brian was saying, sometimes he'll modify singing calls that he has. He's got a lot of CDs out. He'll do 9 64 beat phrases, so he does an opener, break, and closer. As I wasn't sure if it was you, Mickey, or somebody else that said, it might have been Alan, said you can also do a corner progression, swing through, instead of swing your corner, turn through, take the next girl, promenade. You can also do an opener break, circle left, Alaman left, do, si, do, men star left, turn your partner right, take your corner and promenade, and continue your progressions with opener breaks and still use the four figures and the breaks, a standard opener and 2 breaks to take your progression. There's all sorts of variety available to you in 6-couple choreography that is very, very simple, very easy to use, but the dancers feel different. Oh, I'm taking a corner progression on a break. Oh, did the caller mean to do that? I'm not swinging my corner, I'm just taking my corner and promenade. A lot of these courtesy turn to face the corners work. If you have a square through, change it to a touch a quarter boys run. Drop the do, si, do. You've now added all the beats of music you need for the extra time needed for the promenade. There's lots and lots of singing call material available to you. And most of it works. Just make sure you check it, because it doesn't all work, as Reinhold and Bob very carefully and very eloquently said. If you think it all works, it's going to jump up and bite you in the backside unless you check it first.
One of the things I've noticed about singing call figures and trying to change them from what comes with them, the way they were recorded from the producers, is, and to me this might be part of the reason they do use the same so-called vanilla figures all the time, is you can sing them vanilla figures. But when you go and try and change the figures and try and put, I don't know, spin chain exchange to gears or some of the other calls, you just can't sing them calls to the song. So you end up having to do, so now you're doing your opener and closer and middle, you're singing, but your figures are sounding like patter.
Yeah,
that's what I've found.
It is true, but that's not really the reason why a lot of the vanilla figures are there. Most of the material that you talk about, when records were being produced from the early 80s into the early 90s, which was really the big drive of record production, groups like Royal and Rhythm, they had about 4 or 5 singing call figures. And if you go through their records during that period of time, unless they were recording on another label, they had pat figures, because those figures will fit into pretty much any singing call. And the focus was not on selling the choreography. Callers were expected to write, produce, and deliver their own choreography as well as what was there. The onus was on the music, and that's what they were selling. So it was up to you as a caller to be able to do the callers. Most callers actually have 1 or 2 go-to figures that will fit into any piece of music, and they have 1 or 2 songs that pretty much any piece of choreography will fit into that song. For me, it's the song "What's Forever For." I'll use that as a test. That's my slow ballad, and I'll use something like "Any Old Time" or something along that line for my fast choreography to see what I can fit and what I can match. And if I can fit a piece of choreography into those 2 pieces of music, I can fit it into any song. But it does take practice to do it. One of the biggest failings that many callers have, in my opinion, is although imitation is the biggest form of flattery, I may listen to Bob Elling do a singing call, or Alan Kerr do a singing call, or Brian Hotchkiss do a singing call, and I'll try and meter my delivery the same as them, and it will not work for me. I syncopate my calls. I'll get the timing out, I'll get the delivery, but the way I sing it and the way I deliver it will be very different, even though it's the same piece of music. So it takes a lot of work on singing calls, and Bob said this earlier when he was doing his session quite a while back. The one thing that you cannot stress enough on is the singing call is a reward, and it needs practice, 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 because what you're doing is you're giving them the dessert after the meal that's going to make them want to come back. Even if you give an average meal, if you give a wonderful dessert, that's the last thing they're going to remember, and they're going to want to come back because they had a good time and they had that, strawberries, chocolate, and cream is in their memory.
It's amazing, Mel. If you could record, and I'm willing to say the vast majority of callers doing singing calls, and remove the music, you got head square through four hands, do sa do, swing through, spin the top, right and left through, square through three, swing that corner, promenade. There's absolutely nothing musical to the way they deliver that patter.
That's true.
And I just stress when I work with new callers, and I don't know, what do you call it when you, oh, tutoring. I want to hear them sing the song with the patter. Is that right, Yolanda?
Oh, yeah. And I have to do a new one every week.
And what do the dancers say after they hear it?
They like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is singing. Singing calls are often a double-edged sword. You have to sing a singing call, but you have to call the calls in a singing call, and there is a unique differentiation between those. The last thing that you want to hear as a square dancer is head to couple square through, get four hands, because that may fit the music, but it's terrible to dance it. You want head square through, get me four hand, that kind of differentiation. But I agree with Bob 100%. You want to be able to make a singing call a song, and your calls have to be metered to the music, and your lyrics have to fit the melody line so that it is a song. I record singing calls here, and sometimes I leave my window open. My neighbor's an older fella. He says, "Oh, are you still recording music and all that? I love your singing. When are you going to get?" And I say, "Well, it's square dance music. I'm not recording. Oh, but I love that song. I love the guy that did that song." What he's remembering and what he's hearing is the music and the song, because that's what sticks in his head. He's not a square dancer, but he hears the song and likes the song, and that's what you want your dancers to remember. The choreography is nice, but they're not going to remember choreography in a singing call. They're going to remember having a good time dancing to smooth choreography, but they're going to remember the song.
I used to leave my window open when I was practicing too, but I had to close it because the neighbors started throwing things.
Well, that's how I get my fresh vegetables.
It's called salad.
But as I was saying, there's a number of singing calls that you can do that feel really innovative, especially with six couple choreography. A good example, head square through, make a right hand star, head star left, right and left through, swing through, boys run, half tag, scoot back, swing and promenade. There's 64 beats for a square. Well, if I do that, heads touch a quarter, boys run, make a right hand star, and then drop the scoot back, do a half tag, swing your corner, instead of half tag, scoot back, swing your corner. I've got a beautiful flowing, interactive stars turning, swinging your corner promenade. All I've done was a simple equivalent to give me 6 beats and dropping a scoot back. Now I've got the extra time for the promenade. And that will work a lot with things. Using star techniques as an example are really, really good with 6 couples, because you got the 3 stars, the 2 stars, back to the groups of 3. And you can do a lot of things like, instead of head square through, just say head step in and face your corner, make a right hand star. Yeah, that's an A1 pair off, but basic dancers will do that, or mainstream dance will do that. Heads touch a quarter, boys run, right hand star, left hand star. Right and left three, touch a quarter, walk and dodge, partner trade. Reverse flutter wheel and keep her promenade. That'll tighten up the promenade and give you lots of time. So there's lots and lots and lots of material. Look for the stuff that works. Mickey, you mentioned the turn through. You can do the same thing, the right hand star, the left hand, right and left through, and a half sachet. Turn through, Alaman left. The next time you can do turn through, take your corner and promenade. All these things will work, which will take you into adapting normal square dance choreographic routines into 6 couple routines and give those dancers innovation.
Yeah, a little thing that I like is heads or sides square through 4. Each of you with the outside couple make a 3-hand right hand star. Back to the middle, make a 2-hand left hand star. Back to the outside 4, make a 6-hand right hand star. Back.
Turn towards the mic, Bob.
Oh, no? Okay.
You were just starting to fade out. We got your 6-hand star there, but you were just fading out.
Okay, then what was it? It's the 3-hand star, back to the middle, 2-hand star to the outsides, make a 6-hand star, back to the middle, make a 4-hand star, and then you can do that, split the outside 2, separate around 1, or you could circle to a line or something like that. But that simple thing of right-hand star, left-hand star is the perfect square dance sequence. When I teach couples or new callers to write their own modules, I tell them the greatest thing is to create multiple figure 8s. Flutter wheel, reverse flutter. Why? It's perfectly balanced with turning right and turning left. And the more that you use that, the smoother you'll be perceived. Because that's when you watch ice skaters. That's what they do all the time, is figure 8s.
Reinhold, Brian put a comment in there about the tag the lines, face right and whatnot. I'm just curious, are you able to put... just put Colorama back on the screen. I just want to see if this helps, because I was just thinking about this pass-through, bend the line type concept. You're going to have to share your screen again.
Yeah.
If we set up, for instance, head square through.
Reset first.
Do you see it?
Yeah, you're going to have to reset it. Yeah. I'm just thinking of corner line. So if we do a head square through. Slide through. Pass through. Tag the line. Face right.
Go back and... Yeah, it should work, face right. No.
Oh, sorry. It should have been tag the line right, I should say, in Colorama.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The face right should work. No.
Yeah, on Colorama, it's tag the line right.
Yeah. No, usually the face right should work too, but it doesn't always work. So let me see. I can. No.
I'm having trouble visualizing this in my head, but I was just thinking about what you were saying with the bend the lines here. So if we do it, yeah, we've got to get everybody.
The tag the line was bad for the sequence of dancers, of boys and girls here, but
yeah, no, I understand that. That's not what I was trying to get at. I just wanted,
yeah.
I want him to face right.
Yeah, I just. I can do this like this. Now.
Now they're all facing
now
out.
you head out.
Yeah, of course. No, it somehow doesn't work. It doesn't work for some reason.
What was it? What was it, Mel? Head square through what?
Head square through. Slide through. There's the corner line. So pass through. Tag the line right.
Now this is where
Not tag the line face right. Just tag the line right. One frame.
You've got a call selection there that says tag the line right.
Now you only got to send forward.
Yeah. Now this. Yeah.
Let me just see what's going on here. Head square through 4. All slide through.
Yeah, I'm at a loss here. I cannot help you.
No, I'm not. When I'm trying to, if I'm just doing this, if you tag the all for everybody, you don't get to tag the line right.
Yeah, because it's not there.
If you do the center 8, you get it. But if you do all, you don't get to tag the line right or left.
Yeah, because it's not programmed.
Okay. Now I'll have to set this up with. What I was wondering was if I do a tag the line face right, and then if I do in lines of 3 circulate, bend the line, square through 3. That should put me back in. I'm just wondering. I'm just having a hard time visualizing that, and I didn't feel like pulling my checkers.
No,
out.
you would have to have tacked the line in twice after pass through.
Yeah, but instead of doing like I was just thinking about this the square dance figure, because the standard singing call figure is head square through 4, do si do star through, pass through, tag the line, face right, couple circulate, bend the line square through 3. I was just wondering if that circulate, if you did it, your circulate in lines of 3 would work. It's just a curiosity. It's something I'll have to look at when I get my checkers out afterwards.
Love it.
Yeah. Tag the line is an oddball figure for the 6-couple choreography.
Oh, now I have you there.
No.
Yeah.
Have 4, 5, and 6 on top. Do a U-turn back. Same thing with 2, 3, 1 on the bottom.
You mean select certain dancers and turn them back?
Yeah, turn.
How would you address the dancers?
However you manually did it, have those 3 dancers U-turn back.
Yeah, we're not worried about what we would call to the dancers. The dancers would do a face right. We're just trying to get the software to see if it works.
Oh, I did it wrong. Yeah, okay, I see. Sorry.
I just want everybody to face right.
Yeah, of course.
There you go.
Okay, so if we did
Very good.
Circulate.
Wait a moment.
3 by
So
3.
instead of a couple circulate, we're going to circulate lines of 3.
Triple circulate.
We don't call them couples. There's 3 of them. Menage de trois. I hope you realize after the circulate, Mel, they'll be half sashayed.
Yeah, well because after the circulate they'll be half sashayed, but the bend the line square through 3 is to the corner. But I don't think that's going to work out.
No, I'm mixed up now. I'm getting a bit tired.
If you cannot get the triples to circulate, you can just call circulate and everybody stays in its own. Would be the same effect.
Yeah, no, well, not quite, because of when you do the bend the line, you're putting different people in the center of the square when you do the triple.
No, I mean for the circulate, it doesn't matter if you call triple circulate or all 12 circulate.
Oh yes, yeah, all 12 circulate. Everybody circulate.
What are you
Centers
saying?
trade
Trouble
and-
circulate?
Yeah, trouble circulate is good. Now, I was just curious, but it doesn't look like it would work for me. 'Cause I think you'd still have one couple out. I'd have to get the checkers out and have a look at it. It was just an idea I was kicking around.
What I use live dancers for.
I can't hear you, Bob.
That's what I use live dancers for.
Yeah. Anyway, there's lots of material, lots of things that can generate ideas. Bob, Reinhold, once again, thank you very much. The material is there. Once you send me the documentation, I'll send that to Mark so it can get posted. The video will be up on the website probably by the end of the today with the documentation. I want to say thank you to everybody for coming in. If nobody has any more questions or comments, queries, or anything else they want to discuss, I wish everybody a great afternoon, great early morning, or in Reinhold's case, I wish you a good night's sleep because I think it's the middle of the night for you right now. You too, Mickey?
Right.
Must be about 2 o'clock in the morning where you are.
No. We're running up to 4 o'clock now.
Oh, 4 o'clock in the morning. Well, and Hannah, I'm not used to seeing you awake and chipper at this hour. But thank you all for coming in, and I hope you have a great rest of the day or a great rest, as it may be the case.
And thank you, Mel.
Thank you
Thank
very
you very
much.
much.
Yeah. Very
Thank you,
interesting.
everyone.
Thank you for a great job on hosting, Mel.
No worries. Take care. Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
everyone. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.